Hey, hello everybody, Scott Golden here with the Raw report for the 29th of March 2021. And my gosh, what a horrible show. Um, this is the worst Raw lead up to WrestleMania I think I've ever seen. Some of the WrestleMania matches are intriguing, but I honestly think Vince has gotten to the point where he's in his no one's going to tell me what to do, and so I'm just going to put forward what I enjoy phase rather than what fans enjoy. I have yet to talk to a fan over the age of about 10 who sees any value in what WWE is producing these days. It's abysmal, and I don't blame the talent. I literally blame the the writers and the way that the show's being put together. Anyway, show recap. Raw kicks off with Sarah approaching Drew McIntyre as he arrives at the building, and she asked if Lashley. She asked about Lashley's bounty. McIntyre said anyone considering the bounty should wonder if Lashley's actually going to pay off. He dared someone to come find him. Hurt Business. Lashley and the Hurt Business entered the ring. MVP and Lashley would walk in and out of WrestleMania as champion. Lashley made his proposition clear. Whoever whoever takes out McIntyre would earn a title match. At Mania, MVP didn't want people to think he was being generous, and they had thought McIntyre had already had an opportunity and wanted somebody new in the picture. He said anyone who is willing to step up, but nobody enters. So they waste a whole bunch of time with this. MVP says there's two men who would not get that opportunity, and he shows a replay of Sheldon Benjamin and Cedric Alexander losing last week. Apparently they're going babyface or splitting up or doing something with a team that's finally gaining some momentum. Big surprise there. He said he couldn't count on them anymore and refused to associate himself with incompetence. And then Alexander said they could have done this privately. Benjamin wondered if he'd brought them out here just to embarrass them. Benjamin reminded Lashley that he always had his back, and he's champion because of them. Technically, he's champion because we've decided to push somebody about 20 years too late. Well, maybe 15. Anyway, MVP tries to settle things down. Lashley decks Alexander. Benjamin takes down Lashley, but brawl ends. Lashley gives Benjamin a flatliner. Lashley said the Hurt Business is over as far as Benjamin and Alexander are concerned, so this is teasing that there's going to be a new Hurt Business. By the end of the night, we kind of get a look at what that looks like, and it's not as good as the old one. Anyway, Schreiber asks Riddle why he thinks Sheamus attacked him with the scooter. Riddle didn't know. Sheamus had a tummy ache or didn't have a soul. Riddle is looking like an idiot week by week. Riddle's angry that he dropped a burrito. He says he saw Titus O'Neil and told him he should roast a pig at Mania. This is horrible. O'Neil thought that there was something wrong with him and checked his forehead. Riddle said he's fine. Checked me earlier, I'm fine. Roast of WrestleMania, O'Neil clarified that he's hosting with Hulk Hogan. O'Neil left. Riddle talked to himself about food. Sheamus runs out and hits him. Alexander and Benjamin confront Adam Pearce. Benjamin wanted a match with Lashley tonight. Alexander wanted what's left of him next week. Pearce questioned if they're protecting Lashley or if he's even in charge. Alexander wondered if they had to check with Lashley the way he always checks with Roman Reigns. Alexander told him to grow a pair, make the match. Samoa Joe's not on commentary. MVP joins Phillips and Saxton at the desk. How far we've fallen that these are, I mean, MVP is the best of the three, but Saxton and I just said his name and I can't even think of it, Miller or whatever the heck his name is, are the lead announcers of Raw at this point. Anyway, 12 and 3/4 minutes, Sheamus defeats Riddle in a non-title match. Why it's non-title? Why didn't they hold this off till Mania? Why do they disrespect Riddle like this? All of these whys that I don't have answers to. Riddle runs up the ropes, suplexes Sheamus off the turnbuckle. Riddle follows up with a Pele kick and an exploder suplex. A bunch of kicks, a flash knee, and a senton for a near fall. Lots of moves with no real result. Riddle applies triangle choke. Sheamus lifts him up, hits a powerbomb. Riddle manages to hold and then reapply, but Sheamus gets the rope break. Sheamus picks up Riddle and hits White Noise on the apron for a near fall. Sheamus follows up with an Alabama Slam for a near fall. Sheamus then sets up the brogue kick. Riddle runs into him with a knee strike. Sheamus then blocks a kick and hits a knee strike of his own for a pinfall win. Not a bad match, but it's wasted here on Raw. But oh yeah, we don't build to network or Peacock per views because we're peacocky, and I've got to grab my phone. But we'll be back with more of this utter trash in a few seconds. And then we kind of, continue to go. I mean, Riddle has certainly been wasted by far. Sheamus celebrates. Riddle knocks him out of the ring after he wins. We get cheap bro chants. Kevin Patrick, which is the new announcer they brought in, brings in Shane McMahon with Riker and Elias. Then Shane goes to the ring. Good gosh. This Shane segment, a guy in his 50s claims that his knee injury is real, even though we saw it wasn't last week. He claims the sprint away last week was adrenaline. Shane, posted Braun's 5th grade report card. How ridiculous. He received D's in social studies, math, English, gym. Card notes that teachers are even signed by Mrs. Strowman, or Mr. Strowman, or whomever, and
incoming team chat request.
Not even my work schedule wants me to finish this review. Apparently, and to be completely fair, this show is a slog to get through most weeks at this point. Having watched from the beginning in '93 through '98, probably being its peak, certainly I just find the show difficult. Anyway, Strowman comes out for a scheduled match against Riker. Why they do this? Strowman kind of hangs out and just waits there while they go to commercial because they don't know how to time their program. They announced some sort of deal where you can get half price on Peacock, so you're paying $2.50 a month. That's how little they think of their library. I don't want to hear that it's a marketing strategy. I don't want to hear, because they've done that for almost the 7 years the network was there, and they topped out. They topped out because they don't provide compelling content on a consistent enough basis to draw people in. It's just the facts. So anyway, Strowman comes in, defeats Riker with Shane and Elias in just under 2.5 minutes. Strowman wins with a power slam. They play the stupid train noise mid-match. He runs around the ring. Phillips calls. It's WWE's answer to some thing I've never heard of. Anyway, Strowman chases away Shane post-match. Elias cuts him off knee strike. Triple team. Strowman fights him off. Shane runs for the stage. Strowman grabs the mic, cuts an out-of-breath promo, which reminds he has very little cardio. And basically tells Shane he's allowed to pick the stipulation for the match. He announces a cage match. MVP says Shane isn't smiling anymore. And they cut to Shane, who is, in fact, smiling. Anyway, Dirt Sheet, Miz and Morrison starts the second hour. Miz and Bad Bunny is nominated for VMA last year but didn't win. Morrison said he did win a Grammy, though. Miz blows through the remark and said he'll beat Bad Bunny at WrestleMania. I don't even understand why the Bad Bunny thing. Ultimately, people do know who he is, but people know who, Jimmy Carter, the former president of the United States, is too. That doesn't mean he should be on WrestleMania. They run on for a bit. They introduce a music video. They claim it was filmed in Puerto Rico, but it was obviously filmed in the Thunderdome. Anyway, Miz and Morrison are in white suits in the video. They're hopping around like a bunny, and this is stupid. They cut back to the live Thunderdome, played a bunch of booing. Miz and Morrison are proud of themselves. Bunny and Priest come out. Priest says Bunny would handle Miz at Mania. Bunny responds in Spanish, which I guess is fine, except do we really want subtitles on our wrestling program? Again, if this is a Spanish language show and you're putting it on a Spanish station, that's one thing. But when the majority of your audience is speaking English, I don't know that cutting promos in Spanish is a good idea. I didn't agree with it when Ray did it. I didn't agree. I don't agree with it when other people do it. And it's not just a Spanish thing. It's any language that isn't English where the predominance is. If you want to put it on foreign countries in their language or with subtitles, that's a great idea. Or if you're going to do that, you could also have the guy cut the promo in both languages consistently. Anyway, Miz demands to know what he said, and basically Priest translates. Bad Bunny is going to, turn Miz upside down. Family Channel won't repeat exactly what he said. Miz and Morrison leave the ring. Miz gets in Priest's face. Miz says Priest won't be able to protect him at Mania. Priest moves. Miz goes after him. Bad Bunny punches him right in the face, which is probably the best thing that Bunny has done. Priest and Bunny hit the ring. Bad Bunny tossed the props around. Dares Miz and Morrison to get in the ring. They didn't. Randy Orton runs down a list of legends he's encountered in his career. None of them compared to The Fiend. Orton tries burning The Fiend only to realize he wasn't human, and he's straight from hell, apparently. Orton tries to learn what he's dealing with because he wants to put an end to it. He says he knows how far he'd have to go to get rid of The Fiend, to get him out of his life once and for all. So, Bobby Lashley defeats Sheldon Benjamin with Cedric Alexander in a non-title match in 4.25 minutes. Lashley confronts Alexander, runs to the back. Benjamin catches Lashley with a pay dirt in-ring near fall. Benjamin hits knee strikes. Lashley cuts him off. Spinebuster. Lashley hits a second one, wins with the hurt lock. Benjamin passes out. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods bump into Styles and Omos. And New Day has a game night set up. Styles and Omos began. New Day wanted to see how well they know each other. Styles says no. He planned on beating Woods in their match tonight. Calls him a chicken. He accepts. Riddle and Sheamus is made official for Mania. Anyway, so they do a games night with the New Day, which is just stupid. New Day had games set up in the ring. First game they played was charades. Kingston had pantomiming a song. Styles had to pantomime The Lion King. Almost doesn't guess it. Next game is Pictionary. Woods draws a rocket ship. Kingston guessed it right. Styles draws the sun. He drew the sun, but almost didn't guess it, and almost isn't interested in playing this whole thing, and I'm not interested in watching it either. New Day celebrates the win. Almost has had enough. He said the only thing he wants to win is the match at Mania, and he plans showing what he's capable of. Apparently, we're supposed to care about this. Woods thanks us for watching. Styles is throwing games out of the ring, and then basically Woods says he's acting like a 3-year-old. Aired a clip from social media, a young fan doing a Hulk Hogan impression. That fan wasn't even anywhere near around when Hogan was around, so that would have been a good time to tie in the network and Peacock, but they didn't. Anyway, Xavier Woods with Kofi Kingston defeats AJ Styles with almost DQ, just under 8 minutes. They go to the break for 2 minutes into the match. Woods hits a flip dive back from the break. Woods hits a back body drop for 2. Styles responds with a fireman's carry neckbreaker for a 2 of his own. Woods follows up with a tornado DDT for 2 of his own. Styles then goes off the apron. Woods appears to be going and for a running kick, but blocked by Almost. Almost chucks him out of the ring for the DQ. Kingston tries to go after Almost. Almost costs him, checked him over the barricade. Styles whips Woods into Almost, who powerbombed him. Almost puts his foot on Woods and counts to 3. We enter the third hour. Snickers commercial, Miz and Xavier, and there's a Snickers sponsored video. Daniel Bryan beats Randy Orton and Batista WrestleMania 30. Can't believe that was 7 years ago. Alexa comes out. She comes out in a Jack in the Box toy. She said it's no ordinary Jack in the Box. Lets us know that it used to be called Devil in the Box. She said Orton thinks he can get rid of the Fiend, but he's wrong. Now she has a Fiend in the box, and then she said Orton didn't know what's next. She gave him a hint. WrestleMania Legend Killer dies. She actually said the word dies. You're not supposed to do that in a wrestling promo. She giggles and plays with the toy. Fiend is sitting in the swing set beside her the entire time. He didn't move. McIntyre's segment, which is complete trash considering that he's, in one of the main events of Mania. McIntyre busts in the locker room. Half the wrestlers aren't paying attention to him. He yells about the fact no one's going after him. He wonders why everyone's on social media or their phone. He says it's the only way people try to get noticed anymore. Apparently he's ranting like Vince would rant. Anyway, McIntyre dares somebody to stand up and take a shot at him. He gets in Strowman's face and said he should be a 5-time champion by now. Strowman said he'd deal with Shane at Mania, but's coming after McIntyre. McIntyre threatens Carrillo, tosses him aside before getting in Riddle's face. Riddle speaks. Angel Garza tries to attack him from behind. McIntyre tosses him too. Gulak thought about going at McIntyre. McIntyre headbutts him. McIntyre sure looking like a heel here. McIntyre gets in Ricochet's face, and Ricochet says he doesn't trust Lashley, but if he's looking for a fight, he's got one. Okay. So, Naomi with Lana defeats Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax in less than 2.5 minutes. Naomi defeating Baszler is insulting. Anyway, Naomi wins with a cradle after a bunch of useless distractions from the outside. Jax, Reginald, and Dana Brooks, Mandy Rose were all on commentary. Segment where Asuka and Riddle are in the back. They're doing commentary about Scooter. Riddle remarked that he forgot what he's saying. He walks away. Asuka looks confused, smiles and laughs, and we're all supposed to pretend that wrestling is just one big Sesame Street routine. Anyway, so, Asuka and Ripley do the 787,267th contract signing in the last 40 years. Pierce introduces both women. Ripley says that Asuka is only the current champion. Asuka laughs and says she is the champion. Asuka calls her overconfident. Ripley says that she's confident enough to challenge on her first night and confident enough to say she'll win at Mania. They sign. Asuka calls her Ripley's confidence borrowed, not earned. Asuka is about to say Ripley wasn't ready for her. Ripley turned the table over on her and, well, bonks her in the nose. She just had a concussion, but let's not be safe or anything. Anyway, Jax and Baszler with Reginald interrupts. They speak about how they've dominated Raw for the past year, which is partially true, and wondered where their Mania match was. Baszler says she kicked Asuka's teeth out of her head. Couldn't wait to give Ripley a taste. Also true. Ripley told her to go ahead. Jax challenges Asuka, Ripley to a tag match next week. Ripley accepts on Asuka's behalf. This is stupid because we've seen this angle before. Asuka is selling the entire time. MVP approached Ricochet in the back. He said he's glad to see Ricochet thinking like a businessman and taking them up on their offer. Ricochet said he wasn't sure about their offer and thought they were both full of it. Ricochet wanted the match because he doesn't know when he'll get another opportunity and he knows he can beat McIntyre. Well, that's kind of pathetic. Anyway, they announce Kane, Great Khali, RVD for Hall of Fame, joining Molly Holly and Eric Bischoff. Anyway, McIntyre defeats Ricochet in 2 3/4 minutes. McIntyre throws him around. Ricochet mounts a comeback. McIntyre whips him towards the barricade. Ricochet balances himself on the barricade before hitting a drop kick. Ricochet misses the splash off the top rope. McIntyre nails a Claymore kick, gets pinfall. Mustafa Ali attacks McIntyre. McIntyre tosses him out of the ring, and McIntyre defeats Ali, as is to be expected. Anyway, match is underway after break. Ali goes after his leg. Ali splashes McIntyre's legs. McIntyre comes back with several suplexes. Ali tries to cut her. McIntyre headbutts him out of the air, and Claymore kicks him for the pin. Final angle of the evening. Good gosh, the show is over. McIntyre grabs the mic, demands Lashley come out, do the job himself. Lashley comes out. MVP on commentary is not happy about this. This leads to commercial. Lashley enters the ring. Then Lashley tells McIntyre he never needed anyone's help. He could have and should have done this by himself, and ended McIntyre's career while he was at it at the Elimination Chamber. And he's going to do things that will pale in comparison to what he'll do at WrestleMania. McIntyre liked Lashley, fired up. He knew Lashley's dangerous and would be the man around here. If McIntyre didn't exist, Lashley would stay the man. But he did exist, and it's clear Lashley's afraid of him. They brawl. McIntyre headbutts Lashley out of the ring. Baron Corbin suddenly attacks McIntyre. So the solution is get rid of the talented guys in Alexander and Benjamin, and replace with Baron Corbin. Okay, that makes sense. Lashley puts down McIntyre with a hurt lock. Corbin encourages him to do it again. Lashley puts him in the hurt lock twice more. Corbin looks on, and everybody cries because this is just abysmally bad. Anyway, I'll be back with an NWA Power review and a AEW Dark on Tuesday review within the next little while.